Alright, so this is a commentated speedrun of Only Up in 20 minutes. At the time of recording this, I'm like 16th in the world on the leaderboard. By tomorrow, I'll probably be like 50th with how many people are running this game right now. Currently, Only Up is the most active speedrun in the world with, I think, over 1,000 active runners, which is crazy. The genre of it is like a streamer rage game, like Getting Over It or Jump King, if you've heard of those. This one's just in 3D. When I played this game, I think on Monday, I really only anticipated to just play through it once and then put it down forever. Right after I finished it, I watched the world record, and it was so fast that I really wanted to try it. So I learned it that day, and I've been streaming it a couple hours every day ever since. Didn't really anticipate getting 16th, but here we are. The start of this run is probably the hardest part. This pipe section is genuinely the hardest platforming section in the entire run. You have to run across them with so much precision and avoid ledge grabbing wherever you can, because ledge grabs are slow. Coming up here, there's the first sort of trick in the run where I roll in midair up onto the pipe. Like, it's a way to get a little bit of extra height to make it up ledges that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. But like, even right here, this spiral up the pipe requires so much precision. The world record just sprints up this pipe. I've tried, I can't even get a quarter way up. So I just do a casual walk all the way up. It's still pretty hard. Now that I'm getting out of the pipe section, it's just a couple of jumps and climbs up to get out of pipes. And to the first core skip mechanic in the run, beds or just bounce pads. There's a few different things that can bounce you. You'll see that a lot in the run. They're kind of just hidden all over the place in this game and help you skip stuff if you're really precise with it. So there's a bed over here as well that you can jump to skip climbing up a bunch of luggage to get on the top of this train station. They've been updating this game a lot, and they've patched things in and out of the game. One of the biggest things was rail skip, where if you've watched other speedruns of this game, you'll know that you run up these rails for about 90 seconds. There's no skill involved. It's basically just running straight for 90 seconds. The developers have been pretty responsive to the speedrunning community. Just recently added a skip that is a little bit tricky, but still allows you to completely skip those 90 seconds. Well, at least like 60 of the seconds with this bed. So now you only run out the rails for 30 seconds and then skip 60 seconds of rails with this bed, where you do a little bit of a tricky jump. It's really not too bad to just go straight up to the top of the rails, and then you can get to the actual gameplay of it. The strats that I'm using in this run are super safe because I was invited to like a little Ludwig speedrun competition that's happening on Monday. So I've just been learning like the really safe strats to try and be really consistent with the game, but I happened to get this run somehow. You can see it's just a lot of running and jumping up the trains until we get to some of the bigger skips in the run. Pretty much everything that I do, there's a slightly faster way of doing it. Like right here, you can jump right and land on the rail beside the train, but instead I climb and run across it. So little things like that will make the world record a little bit faster than me in certain places, but you know, I'm fine going a little bit slower and not killing runs, because this speedrun is a really weird one, where normally in a speedrun you can make a small mistake and you're fine. You know, it's a small mistake, you can keep going. With this run, if you make pretty much any mistake, you just restart, because you're going all the way back to the bottom. So it's a really weird speedrun like that, where you either finish a really good run, or you just don't finish at all. I really like this part just because it's so smooth. You jump so cleanly over this train, where I remember in my casual playthrough, it was just ledge grab after ledge grab. And this part's scary. I still don't run up this, because again, I'm too scared and I just want to be consistent, because it's so easy to fall off. But I'm running around here to try and not get any ledge grabs, and here we get to one of the first flashy skips in the run, where you go from bed to bed to bed. It's easier than it looks, but it is still a little bit difficult. Each bed is a little bit different, but with these beds you have a lot of air control for some reason. I'm not really sure why. You just do. And so it's really easy to like overcorrect or undercorrect when getting up there, but I nail that pretty smooth, and I'm able to go into the little factory section after that. But right here you'll see that roll thing used again, where I roll to get a little bit of extra height to get up on that ledge, because it wasn't going to ledge grab otherwise. Another small thing in this game, it's not used a ton, is bunny hopping, where if you happen to get a lot of speed through weird collision or a bed that sends you horizontally, like this bed coming up here, you can maintain that speed by just mashing the jump button. And so you'll see me do that here. I don't do it perfectly. Ideally, I do it 3 times to maintain all of my speed directly onto this bed. and you can jump all the way to the subway station over there, but I only go for 2. Play it safe. Do a roll over this railing here, because that saves a little bit of time over the ledge grab, of course. Next is, I think, the second hardest trick in the run. It is the windmill skip. You see a windmill in the distance there, and I'm going to be using, I'm going to be utilizing that to skip a pretty large portion in the game. But first, you got to get over to the drone and just wait until it's in position. The world record speedrun, one thing they do to go a little bit faster is they'll jump directly from the drone onto the windmill. I'm not going to be doing that because, again, it's not consistent enough for me, and I'm just doing this to win a race. So I just jump down to the bed right at its base and wait for the windmill to be in the right position to do the trick. And the goal here is to get far enough out on the blade that it launches me up after I pull myself up on it. This one is really clean for me. I don't usually land on this metal roof, which is the goal. And then right into the next one, where we get to see another useful mechanic of the roll, where it cancels all of your forwards momentum. And I'm able to hold full backwards and start accelerating backwards and do 2 more beds, one after another, to skip, again, an enormous portion of the run to another tricky platforming section. With this one, you see I land on a car and then I just get off of the car. You see there's like a chunk of road there. That chunk of road killed like 3 runs today, and I just did not want to interact with it, so I just got off the car and went around. You see, I'm just running across these cars. I'm trying my best not to ledge grab, so you'll see I do a lot of neutral hops and then I hold forwards. Like, I didn't ledge grab on this semi-truck here because I was never holding forwards at the start of my jumps. And that saves a good amount of time. You know, every ledge grab is like 2 seconds or something, so saving a good amount of time every time you do it. Another little skip here to get onto a section, and we'll see the first use of another mechanic in the game, which is honestly really nice for learning the speedrun, slow motion, where you can just hold the right click and run in slow motion just like that. I use this sometimes to help time jumps that are tricky, because that one's kind of precise to get to that trampoline, so I use it there. I think I might use it like 1 or 2 other times in the run, because it's a speedrun. You generally don't want to use it, but it's there if you need it, which is really, really nice. Another thing with that trampoline while we're waiting, there's a trick in that trampoline where you can jump on it once, hit a tree to accelerate, back onto the trampoline, and jump directly to this elevator that I'm going to. I think someone told me it saves like 12 seconds. Probably saves more time than that now, but again, if you want to see that, watch the world record, which is, I think, currently like 90 seconds faster than this, thanks to a couple of skips. Coming up here is another difference that the world record and I have is I'll be jumping up this, and I'll be going on to, you guessed it, another bed. But the world record jumps on the bed twice to like launch themselves in a crazy far onto like a hot air balloon to go really high up. I really didn't feel like learning that, so I just used the bed here to land on the top of this tower, and the world record uses the double bed bounce onto that. There's the hot air balloon there to just go straight up, and you don't have to wait this elevator out. But I waited out, so there's that. Here now I am officially done the tutorial sequence of the game. These first like 8 minutes are probably overall the hardest section of the run. Like, once you get here, you kind of have a chance to breathe. It's relatively easy platforming. There's a difficult section with some books, but once you get here, you got a run going. This is the point where you're like, okay, there's like a 30% chance this run will finish and it will be a PB, at least in my experience. Getting to this point feels real good. I guess now that I'm waiting for the elevator, there's some weird stuff with the developer of this game that's going on. I'm not really sure of all of the drama, but the game has been taken off of the Steam store, put back on Steam. The game gets changed slightly. Like, there's a big anime girl that was in one section of the run. She's been removed completely. Rumors are that it was a stolen asset and they had to remove it or else get like a lawsuit or something. I'm not really in the loop with all that. I'm just going up. It's a pretty simple sequence here. I'll just be walking and jumping across stuff, doing my best not to to ledge grab.
Will be open to you.
But with that anime girl that I was talking about, there used to be a skip called waifu skip, is what the community called it, where you would use a bed to do an enormous jump onto the anime girl. And now that she's been removed, there's actually a harder version of it, which saves time, fortunately, that I managed to pull off in this run later on, so look out for that. But, you know, as you can see, this section of the run is very calm. It's just running. You know, this snake is pretty... The snake is wider than it looks, like the hitbox is wider than it looks, so it's pretty hard to fall off. Like, I think I've literally never fallen off of this in a run. It's relatively easy platforming. I've fallen off of this section before, but just, you know, the ledges are thin, and it's, you know, you lose focus for a moment, especially because I've mostly been streaming this. You know, you look at chat for a second and you just completely fall down the whole thing. But, you know, it's some minor things like that book right there that I just bounced off of. That was changed. I don't know why. Anyways, the neutral jumping and then holding forwards actually saves a ton of time here, because this Jesus statue thing, you can ledge grab like everywhere on it. But I do a lot of neutral hops and then hold forwards to jump and then slide up the ledges instead, which saves a bunch of time over just holding forwards and ledge grabbing up every little tiny seam that this guy has. You can see here I'm standing on the index finger. It saves a little bit of time. This standing on this index finger allows you to jump off a little bit earlier, just save like 4 seconds or something. So might as well do it. You have nothing else to do.
Education
but we're going up to school now, where I think it's, you know, I said pipes were the hardest part of the run. I would say the book section is the second hardest part of the run, which is directly after this next bed, which is hidden behind the school. You'll see me jump on this bed and watch where I land. Literally, the run before this one, this landing killed my run. There is a specific book that if you land on it, gives you insane speed in the wrong direction. Last run I hit it, and I was so frustrated because it was on a pace similar to this. And this run, I was not going to let it happen again. So I hit the book. I realized I hit the book, and I had to crank it to the right so I grabbed that bench. And now I'm shaking, but I do my best to jump across these benches anyways, and I surprisingly get it pretty cleanly. I was kind of impressed with myself after screwing up with the book launch. Although I do get a bit nervous on these stairs, actually. I remember. I miscount the stairs, and I'm like, wait, where am I going? And then, again, this is... They changed this section a little bit. They changed the books around recently with an update. I don't know why, again. So I stand here, and I'm like, wait, which book do I jump to? And then I figure it out, but... yeah, this is like my second run here after the update where they changed these bookshelves. I assume... I think they were just regular books before, and I think they also might have been stolen assets or something, so they had to remove them. But, anyways, getting to the end of the run where it's just non-stop tricks back to back to back, so some pretty hype moments. The world record will jump from this piece all the way to the board. I'm a little baby, so I'm not going to do that because it's killed too many of my runs, and I'm going for consistency, as I've been repeating over and over again. Sorry for that, by the way. But yeah, now we're getting to what I like to call waifu skip, because there's no more waifu anymore. But first you gotta run up these stairs, do a little neo around the corner, grab these books, and then this is one of the tricks in the run that has a setup. Like, you have to land on such a precise spot on the bed that you hold C to go into first person mode. That's why the camera gets all weird. And I'm gonna get into a really specific spot. I'm really bad at the trick, and I was on such good pace, I really didn't want to screw it up. So I waste like 10 seconds here just shuffling my feet around until I'm in the right spot. But then I hold back, I hold forwards, and then I look, and I realize, oh my god, I got it. Okay, now I need to time a roll perfectly to cancel my momentum, and then land on this bed, and then land on the barrel, and I get it. And at this point, I'm freaking out. So, like, you can jump directly from this hat onto the ship. I say, screw that. I'm jumping onto the barrel. I'm jumping onto the ship. I am not falling down. Because at this point, the rest of the tricks are really cool, but are significantly easier than everything else in the run. Well, that is if you're not going for world record. If you're going for world record, which probably by tomorrow, a new world record will be set with the trick that I'm about to tell you about. This boat is, I think, the longest auto-scroller section where you just have to wait. They figured out a way to skip it, where you, like, clip inside of the boat and then mash spacebar to build up speed, and you just launch directly to that, that structure over there. I have no idea how it works. I think literally one person on the planet is going for it right now, Distortion 2. You probably already know that, because if you're watching this run, you probably watch Distortion. Maybe more than one person. I don't know. I've really only been watching Distortion. There might be more people than that. I shouldn't assume. There's a lot of really skilled and dedicated speedrunners doing this run right now. It's like, it's big. Like, everybody that I know that speedruns is at least, like, keeping up with it, if not trying the run themselves. Yeah, you can see here, I'm standing at the front of the ship to jump off it as early as possible, and now it's just a bit of a walk, and then a walk to the next launch. And I think I am now done with beds, actually. All of the bed skips are done, but there are a couple other things that can launch you in the air. There is the cannon, which I am walking up this incredibly long spiral staircase for, and then there is a champagne bottle that I'll be launching out of as well. Something important to mention about this game is that you can change the frame rate from 30 to 60 to 90 to 120, and some of the skips that have more precise setups only work on certain frame rates. So, like, the setup that I used for Waifu Skip only works on 60 FPS. If you're playing on 90 FPS, you need to stand in a different spot. If you're playing on 120, you need to stand in a different spot. Anyways, here's the cannon, which I'm going to use to jump all the way up to this ice. And and this cork skip, I'm not sure if 30 FPS is required or not. It's just in the rules to do 30 FPS. I'm not exactly sure why. But, like, this skip, I'm going to go into slow motion, crouch, and walk forwards pretty much all at the same time. And for whatever reason, it gives you a second cork launch, which just doubles your height, and you skip an enormous portion. If you just get one launch, you have to climb around an island, go onto a bed, climb up an orca, and then do some other stuff. But with that one, it's just, with the double cork launch, you just go. It's nice and easy. And right here on the left, a little bit of a reference. Got the guy in the pot with the hammer, of course. But now it is the final elevator. It's the elevator to the final trick in the run. It's not the last elevator, unfortunately. I think the biggest skip... Is it the biggest time save? Yeah, the biggest time save in the run is coming up. I think it saves 6 or 7 minutes, depending on how you do it. That's an estimate. I could be very wrong, but I'm pretty sure it saves that much time. It's called Dragon Skip, where there is a dragon that's going to be flying around here, and we're going to use it to our advantage. So in this pipe, I'm going to look left to spawn the dragon in as early as possible. So you hear it flapping now. And I'm going to run into a precise position. It's not that precise. And then the dragon is going to flap its wings. One of its wings is going to pick me up. I'm going to go into slow motion here, get into a certain position, and you can see the wing is kind of going up and down, up and down. I wait a certain amount of times. I press the space bar and then roll right there to cancel my momentum, and it launches me straight up. And I'm going to go land on that black disc down there. If you've been watching the world record, though, you can see how high I'm going. That is the end of the game. The world record goes straight to there using a much more difficult dragon setup. This is my, like, consistent, I'll get it every time dragon setup. You know, I'm 19 minutes into the run. I don't want to take any risks. But the world record goes for this absolutely insane skip that goes directly to the end and skips this elevator. But, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the run. There's, like, 1 or 2 sections you can fall if you're really bad. But this is just the elevator leading up to the end. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I haven't really uploaded many post-commentary, speedrun explained kind of videos, so I don't know, if you liked it, just let me know. And for those of you that are waiting on Pokemon and Zelda and Mario and Minecraft content, whatever you want from me, you're going to be eating good in the coming month or two, because there's been some big projects that have been in the works for a long time, and they're close. So look out for that. It's good. But yeah, this is my run, and I did say 20 minutes. That was a bit of a lie. I rounded down. It's just saying 20 minutes and 30 seconds isn't as good of a YouTube title. I apologize for clickbaiting you. I hope that this was entertaining anyways. But yeah, that's the run. Only up 20 minutes and 30 seconds. And yeah, it's probably the last I'll play it before the competition on Monday, so wish me luck. Check it out if you want.